Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Seco District 4 meeting. I'm James Lamont, your district trustee. Thank you, everybody, so much. I so appreciate you. I am so humbled and amazed at the massive community involvement here tonight. I'm so glad to see the members here to meet everybody on the Seco team. It's just fantastic. So I'm a little off script, but I so appreciate y'all. You have no idea. So anyway, welcome aboard, and we're going to stand, if you would, please, for the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Mike Muffett is going to come up and start.
Okay, we're going to pray first, if we could, and then we'll have the pledge. Father God, thank you for your love for us and how you watch over and protect us each day. We thank you for the safe travel that you gave us coming here. We thank you to be in the United States of America and how you bless this country. We just pray now that you would take care and watch over and protect our military, our police, fire, all the first calls, that they would be protected and watched over. We thank you for Seco and all the employees. We ask you to bless them and watch over them and protect them. And now I ask that you would watch us over as we carry on through our district meeting, and that you would help us to conduct it in a way that's pleasing to you. In Jesus' name, amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mike. We appreciate it. We always start with a prayer, and we always start with a pledge. I should have been better at that, but I appreciate it. Thanks for supporting that. Before I introduce my fellow trustees who are with us tonight, I'd like to take a moment and thank the Seco Energy team that's here, that helped us tonight for this meeting and put this thing together. Let's just give them a round of applause. Their work is just amazing. We're so blessed to have them. At this time, I want to introduce my board of trustees. The first one I'm going to introduce is Jerry Anderson, our board president and District 3 trustee. Is Jane here? Yeah. Okay, Jane's not here, so If is not here. Morgan Hatfield is our board vice president and District 9 trustee. Joyce Anderson is our board secretary, treasurer, and District 2 trustee. Scott Boyette, our board Scott used to be. We got a little technical error back there. Scott Boyette, District 2. Sorry. All right. So anyway, District 5 trustee is Shannon Wright. She's here with us tonight. Shannon. And District 6 is Mike Muffett. You met him earlier when he gave the pledge and a beautiful prayer. And his wife Irene is here. And our District 7 trustee, Joe Kuziak, is here. And let's welcome his wife, Carmen. Our District 8 trustee is Marty Proctor. He's also here with us this evening. And our CEO, Curtis Wynn. He's the one that keeps our ship afloat. Our attorney, Scott Gherkin. I just want to take a second and thank my beautiful wife and my granddaughter, Jillian, and my daughter, Jenny, for being here and supporting me tonight. Thank you. At this time, I'm going to turn the meeting over to our cooperative attorney, Mr. Gherkin, to be the chairman of the meeting. Mr. Gherkin.
Thank you. And particularly nice when you applaud the lawyer. I don't always get that, so I thought, It is. Well, that's true. It is a privilege to chair the meeting tonight, and this is actually fabulous to have all you people here. We have to have 20 people to have a quorum, and believe it or not, there were some people that were worried that we wouldn't have 20. So when I drove up and couldn't find a parking place, I was no longer worried. So this is great. It's a tribute to your district, to your community, that you got everybody out here, and everybody seems to be in a pretty good mood, which is also good to see. So it's a welcome. Any event, although I am the chairman of the meeting, it is not a glamorous job. Most of the things I do are pretty boring, honestly. But there are a few housekeeping things that I am required to do and that are required by your member bylaws to have an official meeting. One is to appoint a recording secretary. And as she has done many times in the past, I will ask Jerry Helms if she would be willing to be our recording secretary for this meeting. You can't see, but she is nodding her head yes, so thank you, Jerry, and we appreciate that. Second, as I've already mentioned, we have to make a determination whether we have a quorum for the meeting so we can have a legal meeting, and we have well surpassed that. So we have a quorum for this meeting and we can proceed. And third, there's no one in line to vote. Is there anybody, or well, we're not actually voting tonight. Is there anybody that still needs to register? One yet? Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and that person can register, but at the conclusion of that, we will close the registration. As you know, everyone who register is eligible for the prizes that you'll hear at the end of the meeting, and so it gives you some incentive. Is there anybody sitting here that hasn't registered, that got excited, got a cookie, sat down, didn't register, something like that? Okay, so if there's anybody like that, please, it's your last chance. Otherwise, we're going to close the registration and move forward. With that, I will introduce again our Secretary Treasurer, Ms. Joyce Anderson, who will announce the certified candidate for tonight. Ms. Anderson, thank you.
Thank you. As the CECO Energy's Secretary Treasurer, it's my responsibility to certify the nominees for trustee in District 4 in accordance with Article 3, Section G, Paragraph 2 of the bylaws of Sumter Electric Cooperative, Inc. The following member is certified as a nominee for trustee for District 4. James Lamont, 4081 Southwest 116th Place, Ocala, Florida 34476. And he is the only candidate. So, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Anderson. Normally at this point, I go into a long, drawn-out explanation of the voting process and that, but as you all, if you were paying attention, as she mentioned, we only have one candidate this evening, Mr. Lamont. And so per your bylaws, they state that if you only have one qualified candidate, they are deemed elected. And so it is my privilege to declare Mr. Lamont the trustee for District 4 for another 3-year term. Congratulations, Mr. Lamont. You know, as a cooperative, it is a privilege to elect your trustee. It is a requirement that they be a resident of your district so that you know that someone is speaking for your community. Unlike investor-owned utilities or government-owned utilities, CECO is a member cooperative. You all own CECO in a sense, and so you have a right. It's a very democratic American process to go ahead and elect someone to represent you. And Mr. Lamont has done that for how many years now? 2 years, and so he now has been reelected for a 3-year term. Congratulations again, Mr. Lamont. And with that, it is again my privilege to introduce the CEO of Sumter Electric, who is going to give you a cooperative update, followed by questions in the member engagement panel. We are very blessed to have Mr. Curtis Wynn as our CEO, and I will introduce him now. Thank you.
Good evening. How's everybody feeling? Good. Well, you look great. It is a pleasure, and I do thank you for taking time out of your schedules to be here this evening to join us for our District 4 meeting. It's always a pleasure to engage. One of the things that President Anderson and I have been really wishing for a long time is to have this type of crowd so that we can share what's happening with your electric cooperative. And there's a lot going on. But your presence really speaks to your commitment to the success of the growth of this electric cooperative. And I really appreciate you being here. I want to make a few announcements before I get into some of the details. There are some member giveaways and trivia things that are happening here. Just to remind you that we're giving away 3 $250 bill credits and 20 $25 bill credits. And that's everyone who's registered is eligible to win those. And we'll be drawing those for you. So that's one of the good things we like to talk about. Another is, I hope all of you had a chance to pay attention to the trivia contest, and hope you had a chance to answer all 3 of those trivia questions. And using your answer sheet that you received at registration, now is the time. We're at the end of that. If you haven't turned those in, raise your hand and we'll pick those up. We got one over here, Dustin. But we want to pick all of those up, and then just to be reminded, at the end of the meeting, we will randomly draw 3 winners from the trivia contest, and those winners will receive a $50 Visa gift card. How about that? Is that okay? So one of the things we do leading up to these meetings is we do a member engagement survey from just the members here in District 4. And what we're trying to do with that is get some feedback from you, 75 of you. Maybe you might have been a part of that, but 75 members from District 4 were a part of this member engagement survey. The reason we do that is we want to know what you are interested in the most. I have to spend a limited amount of time in front of you. I want to make sure that the time that I'm here in front of you is of interest, to talk about things that are of interest to you. And there are 4 things that rose to the top. The 4 top areas of interest that you mentioned were our new program. Well, it's not new, it's been around a while. Our Smart Hub program using our online tools. We're going to talk about that. You also wanted to know about some of the energy sources that SECO uses and how we handle reliability. And I'll make sure I've covered that. The third topic was the Smart Connect program. And then last, of course, was the solutions to help you manage energy use. I think I've got all of that covered in my remarks, so we do want to make sure that happens. But let me just, before I get into that, I just want to recognize Mr. Lamont. I'm really impressed. This is a great crowd, and I think they like you a little bit. So, want to recognize him. He's really doing a great job representing your district in District 4. And not only him, but he's with a great team of trustees who I have the pleasure of working with. All of the trustees behind me are really, they have your interests as members of this electric cooperative at heart. We make decisions around your interests. And we're fortunate to have this type of business that we have members who we're accountable to and accountable for. So just want to make sure we recognize the work of our trustees. Just a little bit about SECO. Some of you probably know this, but I'll just remind you, just by way of comment, that SECO serves around 264,000 metered accounts. And these are homes and businesses here in this Central Florida region. About 28,000 of those meters or accounts come right here from District 4. You and your neighbors make up a big part of SECO. Now, if you look at the growth of SECO, in the last 25 years, we've added 145,000 new accounts. Now, we're 85 years old, so that's more than we grew in the first 60 years of existence. So that's a lot of growth, and we'll be talking about that growth. And what that has done is it has moved SECO to be the 7th largest electric cooperative in the nation, out of about 800 electric cooperatives across the nation. So that growth is really paid off, and we're right at the top in the top 10 of electric co-ops across this country. Every day we get the privilege and the pleasure of serving almost 500,000 people across this region. And we take that very seriously. And we're serious about providing these consumers, those almost 500,000 people, with safe, reliable, and affordable electric service. That's what we do. And that's what we're most proud of. Now, I said consumers, but how many of you have heard me ask this question about, are you a consumer or something else? There's another word. Who's going to tell me what that other word is? What are you? Owners, member owners, right? So you are, that is the cooperative difference. You are member owners. It was, Mr. Gerken said it earlier. You are member owners of this co-op. And there's a difference. So you have benefits. One of the benefits, if it came down to an election, you would get to vote, but by acclamation, you have decided that you know who you want to represent you, and you get that choice. So that's one difference. The other is on the financial side. When Seco Energy does well financially, we're not here to make profits. We do try to have a sound business approach, but when we have extra funds, we give it back to you in the form of capital credits. It is assigned to you immediately at the end of the year. When we finish our books, you're assigned a portion of those excess margins, and eventually you get a credit on your electric bill for those capital credits. Now, just by way of numbers, in the last 10 years, in the last decade, Seco has returned more than $45 million in capital credits for our members across this system. Now, as a business, we operate with a strategy. We're a very strategy-focused organization. We're looking at things that might be happening now and what's going to happen in the future, and we have a strategy to get there. So with that strategy, we have three important components of it. One is that we have a very specific mission. As a not-for-profit electric cooperative, our mission is to provide you with reliable and innovative energy services for you, the members, as well as this community. We also, in that strategy, look at the vision. Where do we want to be in the future? What is our vision? We do have a vision of how we want to be. What do we want to be when we really grow up? Our vision is clear, and that is to lead the industry in member satisfaction and engagement while being the preferred employer in this region. We can't do the work we do without qualified, very smart employees, and we're very fortunate to have some of those representing our employee base here tonight. So we want to be the preferred employer so that we can attract talent, so that we can do the work of serving you as members. And then as a cooperative, we also have a set of values, the things that we stand for. And we look at these, when we look at new employees, our existing employees, we expect them to have these core values. The first is they have to value safety. We're in a dangerous business. We want our employees to, and as a collective body, we value honesty and integrity. We value a strong work ethic. We also value accountability, teamwork, having an inclusive culture around the office and what we do. But most importantly, we value our commitment to you, the members. That's what we value. That's a part of our strategy. Those are the undergirding positions of our strategy. Now, within that, once we've established that, we have a lot of exciting initiatives. I'm going to cover a few of those with you tonight. The first is what we call the Seco Energy Expansion and Improvement Plan. You probably have heard that Seco has outgrown its facilities. You might have also heard that we just went over 500 employees at Seco Energy. We are working in facilities that were built when we only had probably 150 employees. We're working in facilities right now that are outdated, in many ways dilapidated. And our employees deserve better than that. So we have proposed, as a staff, we have proposed to our board to allow us to expand and build new facilities so that we can do some things that are important. Now, this is a multi-year initiative. It started in 2024. Now, fast forward to 2026. We are just months away from doing some groundbreaking to really get this started. But what does it mean to you as members? This is what I really want to point out. What does it mean to you as members? First of all, we are able to have a safe working environment for you so that our employees can serve you, the members. And specifically what we're getting ready to do is there are 4 parts of this expansion. First, here in Marion County, just a few miles east of here, is going to be an operating center here to serve the Marion County area. The second is in Lake County, we will have another operating center to serve the southern part of our service territory. And in Sumterville, we will have a third operating center to serve that region. So strategically located to make sure we can reach the members and serve them in a good way. We will also be renovating our headquarters facilities that you see if you drive by on 301. And we're going to have that as an open component of a place where we'll have an access for our members to come in and make bill payments as you currently do in some of the locations we have now. Those existing locations will remain intact. But we're expanding so that we can serve you better. This will allow us to have, as I mentioned, a safe work environment. This will also give us the ability to move around on the facilities so that these 500 employees can get the trucks out, can have warehouse space to store equipment that's needed to serve you. And it's going to also, in summary, it's going to ensure that we can continue to make sure that you receive the reliable service that you deserve and that we owe you as employees and board members of this electric cooperative. So we're really excited about this project. And it's going to also support our local economy with job creation. So that's one big thing we've got going. The next is one that we finished, and it's our advanced metering infrastructure project. We completed that, it's substantially completed, and we did it ahead of schedule, and we call it the AMI project. And we have officially transitioned from manually sending trucks around our service area to read meters to a modern automated system that provides far more than just once a month meter readings. Actually, we're getting a reading almost on every account every 15 minutes. Now, what that does, it leads me to the first area of interest that you mentioned as a part of our engagement survey, as some of our members mentioned, and that was, what about this Smart Hub program? So I want to explain the Smart Hub platform. It is connected with the AMI system, the Advanced Metering Infrastructure System. Well, with Smart Hub, that gives you, the members, real-time access to information about your account and how much energy you're using, real time. If you have a smartphone, it can send you notifications about when your bill might be expected to be higher than it used to be. It can give you information about the data that's going through your meter. If something's wrong, you can detect it early. But it's sort of like this. The Smart Hub program is one of those situations where you got to put a little bit into it to get a whole lot out of it. And what I mean by that is there is a part of the Smart Hub program that requires, or at least will work better, if you go in and give it some information, like what is the size of your home? What are some of the appliances that you have in the home? How many people occupy your home? And the more data you give it, it will give you more data to help you manage your electric consumption so that you can manage the amount of money you spend on your electric bill. So that's the Smart Hub component, and that is tied to the AMI project. The next thing that was mentioned that you were interested in is the Smart Connect program. This is a voluntary program that we've put in place that is designed to help SECO reduce its power bill. Just like you, SECO has a power bill too. It's a pretty big one. Actually, it takes up about 70 cents of every dollar you pay us to pay that power bill. It's a big bill. But this Smart Connect program is something that will help us reduce that power bill, which helps us save a lot of money that we can use to help maintain reasonable rates, which I know is something of interest to all of you. Now, during those hot summer evenings and those very cold winter mornings like tomorrow morning, that is a time when there's a huge spike in the demand for electricity. So with the Smart Connect program, you can engage with us to help us reduce that spike. Now, I want to ask, how many of you have a smart thermostat in your home? So quite a few of you. Anyone in here have a EV charging station? A few of you have that. How about a battery backup system? See, one or two. Now, those are the devices that are eligible to be a part of the Smart Connect program. And the way it works is during those peak times, we would, during short and infrequent peak events, SECO would make small temporary adjustments to those devices within your home. Now, those adjustments are designed to minimize any impact on the comfort of your living while you're at home. So it wouldn't have you freezing, it wouldn't have you too hot. We try to adjust it to make sure that your comfort level does not change. Now, what that does, it helps us reduce that overall demand for power that we have to pay extremely high dollars to keep up with. And it helps us also, when we reduce our power bill, we get to share those savings with you, because this program does come with incentives. Those incentives are in the form of bill credits that you can get by participating in those programs. So if you're not familiar with this program, I do encourage you to speak with our team and get some information on it. It's really, really helping all of us. It's a team effort where we can engage with you, the members, to help us save on a big cost that we have to incur as a utility. Now, another area that is of real importance is reliability. How often do we keep the lights on? And that's important. No one likes to have their power out. And we work very hard to make sure that that doesn't happen. Now, while we have a comprehensive strategy, we never lose sight of what we believe is the most important thing that we have to do, and that's to keep your rates as low as possible and keep your lights on. And all the other stuff matters, but nothing matters more than that, right? So reliability starts with preparation. So we are constantly making investments for routine preventative maintenance on our system. 12,000 miles of line. Think about that. 12,000 miles of electric line across all of the counties that we serve are being maintained by our dedicated team. Now, this goes along with the investments that we make in smart technology like the AMI system that I mentioned earlier and the modernizing our facilities, as I also mentioned. Now, when weather impacts our system, what really matters is safety and speed to recover those outages, get those lights back on. And the preparation makes a difference, and we do a lot of that in advance of those things happening. And I'll just tell you that our reliability numbers speak for themselves, speaks for itself. We have been very proud to have some of the best reliability numbers of any electric utility across the country. So I think our team is doing a good job of what I want to tell you tonight. You go ahead, you're certainly welcome to do that. Our commitment to that is ongoing. We're proud of it, and we want to make sure we maintain that commitment to keep the power on. Rates and affordability. That's what I want to talk about next. And over the past several months, we are proud to say that SECO has maintained some of the lowest rates in the state. And that's something our board is very focused on, our team is very focused on, and we do everything we can to reduce costs to make sure that we keep real good rates and affordable rates for you, the members. Now, there's something that is worth mentioning, and is a component of the rates that we always try to make sure the members are aware of, and that's the component where we have to purchase fuels to generate power. And most of the generation that we do through Seminole Electric is through natural gas. And that price of natural gas does fluctuate. And when that price of gas is down below normal, we reflect that on your power bill through something called hot bucks. Anybody familiar with hot bucks? We are always proud to be able to provide those credits on your electric bill, but that is a function of the gas prices that we have to pay. Now, sometimes when the prices of gas go up, that is reduced, or it even has in the past since I've been here, has had to go away. But just know that when that happens, we're always willing to push those savings onto you by way of hot bucks. So let me just say to you that we are focused, and we remain focused on the things that count and the things that we can control. And that's managing costs and being efficient, making smart investments, providing reliable power, and a fair and competitive rates. And we know that those two things go hand in hand. And we plan to invest in wisely so that we can make the most of the dollars that you entrust in us. So last topic for me tonight, and I want to move through this pretty rapidly here, is just about member engagement. And I'm staring at member engagement right now. And we're so proud that you're here. And sometimes we engage by way of surveys. Sometimes we want to just call you or send you a note that says, hey, give us feedback. Tell us how we're doing. And we take that feedback very seriously. When you give us comments, we send those comments around to the respective staff member who is in charge of that particular area. So when we call on you in the future, ask you to fill out a survey, please participate, engage with us, let us know how we're doing, because we want to do the best job we can for you, the members. Now, you got some cheat sheets. I think when you came in, we wanted to, in case you were ready for me to sit down and get to the door prizes and didn't really catch everything I talked about, we gave you some takeaway, a sheet that has takeaways on it. In your bag, I want you to look for those. Does anyone have one? That's all right, I've got those here. Looks like this. This is it. I'll give it back. I'll give it back. So, the reason I wanted you to have this, we wanted you to have this is, you might go to the store tomorrow and you might tell your neighbor, I was at the Seco district meeting last night. Well, they might say, well, what did they talk about? Well, here it is. Everything I talked about is here. And even some more stuff. So, do we have extras? Do we have extras? If we might have a few extras, so if you want to take some more and hand them out to your neighbors, give them to them. And we'll make sure you get that. I'm not going to read them to you. You got them, but there's one thing I want to point out that's really important that I haven't covered tonight, is about scams. I just want to warn you as a membership, there are some vicious people out there. They're trying to trick you. They would perpetrate and they would try to persuade you that they're Seco staff members. They could be peddling some of anything. But we want you to know, we always come in uniforms. And we always come with identification. So if you don't see an identification, if you're not sure it's a Seco employee or a Seco, call us. Call us and let us know. And we will verify if we should be out at your home or out at your residence or place of business. We would know. So I just want to leave that with you as just a fair warning that everybody who comes to you and approaches you saying they're Seco is not always Seco. Okay? All right. So where we're going to go now is, as noted in we got some more reminders in the District 4 notice. All attendees enter into our bill credit drawing. We will award the three $250 bill credits and the $25 bill credits. You'll be announced at the end of the week. You will know who those are, and the credits will appear on the winner's next billing statement. All right? Now, we move to another very important part of the evening. That is the member engagement panel. And I want to introduce our executive leadership team who are here this evening to help with the engagement panel. First, if you'll stand and just wave at everybody, we're going to introduce Ben Dawson, our Chief Operating Officer. Next is April Brown, our Vice President of Human Resources and Corporate Services. Next is Tracy DeLimos, our Vice President and Corporate General Counsel. We have a Vice President of Engineering, but he's not here. He's on vacation, Ralph Grant. We'll get him next time. And Kathy Judkins, our Vice President of Communications, Community, and Member Engagement, Member Experience. Next is Tolu Amatoso, our Vice President of Corporate Strategy and Innovation. Next is Wayne Pennington, our Vice President of Operations and Reliability. And Ann Reynolds, our Vice President of Financial and Administrative Services. And last and certainly not least, Jerry Helms, our Executive Administrator, to myself and the Board of Trustees. They're here this evening. They're going to stay seated, and I'm going to just open up the floor to see if there are any questions you may have. I do want to put a disclaimer on on the questions that might come. If it's about your personal account, your bill, or something just related to your specific account, we have team members who are happy to help you with those. We won't field those type questions, but if you have general questions about anything that's happening with Seco, we've got microphones, I believe, ready to come to you and allow you to ask your question. If you would, just pronounce who you are and give us your question. I have one right here, Dustin. All right, Hank. Yes, are you referring to data centers? Yes, yeah. Very hot topic. We get inquiries quite often about interested parties. The question, in case you didn't hear it, is are we at Seco getting inquiries is there any prospect of us being impacted by data centers? And if you're not familiar with those, you're probably familiar with artificial intelligence. AI. That is what's driving the need for those server farms or data centers to come up in different places. And they're coming up everywhere. We get inquiries. We have not gotten, to this point, a serious inquiry. And what we call a serious inquiry is when the customer or prospective data farm, data center owner fills out an application and provides money for us to start researching and determining whether we can serve that data farm. And I think one of the things that's happening across the nation is because these farms or these data centers use so much power, is the utility going to hook these data farms up and leave you in the dark? And I'll say emphatically, no, that's not going to happen. But we do get inquiries. At some point, we'll probably get a serious inquiry, but we are working with our generation and transmission cooperative, Seminole Electric, to make sure that the application, when it comes in, we can verify the need and that we can make sure that we have the adequate power, additional power, to serve those large loads. They are large loads in a big way, but thanks for your question. Anyone else have a question in the back?
Yes, I had a question. My name is Linda, and I have a question about solar Do you incorporate solar panels in your systems for our electricity? And how much of that is solar
Yes,
run?
right. So solar, two parts of solar I'll just address. One is, I think the one that you're referring to is, does Seco Energy own any solar farms? And the answer to that is no, we don't. But we indirectly have some ownership in solar farms through our Seminole Electric, our generation and transmission company. But those solar farms that they own, and we have part ownership in, are located in areas outside of Seco Energy's footprint. We do have a lot of our members who have decided to have solar interconnections with their residents or business, and we work with members who want to have solar in those locations by way of an interconnection agreement to allow that solar to produce part of the energy that's needed to power your home or business. Okay? Any other questions? Yes, sir. Got one here and one over here.
Yeah,
Yes.
on the T&D side, I see some tree trimming issues. How often do you trim your circuits?
So I'm going to turn it over to either Ben or Wayne to answer that.
Currently, we are on a 5-year cycle on our vegetation trim cycle, and we are aggressively trying to get that down to a lower cycle. But to answer to your question is a 5-year cycle currently.
So every 5 years. Okay, there was another one on this side.
Has Seminole been impacted by any server farm or AI farm requests?
Yes, I think to date they have one, and it's at another cooperative. Seminole serves 9 cooperatives. And they start at the Big Bend, or actually near Tallahassee and Quincy, and they come all the way across the Big Bend down south of us. There are 9 electric cooperatives that we own, collectively own Seminole. And they have one of those 9 that has actually gotten a serious inquiry, and it looks like it's going to come into fruition. So the size of it is, I'm not sure. We're not sure. We don't have those details, but it looks like there may be the first one. Thanks for that question.
Mr. CEO and all our members, I've been to one of this meeting about 2 years ago, and what I felt about this company, it just reinforced, because in a world today when people are so dishonest and you cannot trust anybody, it's good to find a company that you can confident and trust. I'm from the old days. When you say something, I take your word until you prove otherwise. So I'm proud to be a member of this company. Your rates are reasonable, and your response time is always great. God bless what you do, all your staff. May God bless you, and keep being honest, and that's the best policy.
Thank you, sir. What's your name?
Liebert Perrin, sir.
Good.
My name is Liebert Perrin.
We like to put our members on video, so you might. Kathy Judkins is up here. She's going to talk to you.
Hello, my name is Brenda, and I just have a question regarding the need for additional infrastructure when you're supporting a server farm.
Right.
So what happens? They make their application. Yes, they have to pay for some sort of probably an impact study, survey, whatever. But then why aren't these companies being required through impact fees to foot that bill for themselves? Why is it being pushed down to us as customers and users?
Right. And I'll let you go, and then I'll probably follow up with something on that.
I can't speak for other utilities, but for us, that is part of the application process and the study process. Like you said, the impact study is coming up with those costs and infrastructure needs to serve that data center. And they will be charged a contribution data construction like any other member would be to pay for those costs and impacts to the system.
You know, we wanted a street light to light up our area for safety, and we gave that without paying for it.
Right. So yes, I think it's clear. We want to be very clear that when we say it's a serious inquiry that is being mentioned, that means that they're ready to put up that impact fee on the front end before we get started. So we're not intending and don't intend to pass those costs on to you, the members. We want them to do it. You have a follow-up. We want to make sure we
I've been involved in developing businesses.
Right.
And I just don't see how this is such a new business venture, basically, these server farms, that how do we even know what those costs are going to be? Like, yes, they can give you an impact fee, but how many years down the road is that going to support? I mean, does it support all of the infrastructure? Is it a percentage? Is there some sort of process where the costs are reassessed and they get a plus add-on? You know, it's whatever, cost plus, I guess would be in government contract terms what you would use?
So a part of that study is a full-blown, their needs that they need for the next 5, 10, 20 years, whatever the commitment, and they will pay for those infrastructure needs and requirements for how many years they need it for. And if they need additional, we'll have to do another study for those additional needs.
Okay. Any other questions? Yes, sir. Ryan.
I've heard that nationally, the cost of electricity has risen about 15%, primarily from AI infrastructure. An impact fee is great, but typically the electric industry discounts electricity to large consumers, and the average ratepayer winds up paying additional costs to support those industries. Is that going to be the model that happens with Seminole?
No. As we have said, and we have actually, by way of policy, established that additional cost will be paid by that data center. And if there's additional infrastructure needed beyond what we have already identified as organic growth that SECO is seeing and all of the other 8 cooperatives are seeing, they have planned for infrastructure to serve us. So if a data center or data farm comes in and it increases that need to force us to build another additional power to serve them, that is taken into consideration, and it's going to be passed on to those new customers. And what we're seeing in some of the states that are getting them already is that they're paying it. Now the rise in costs, we could look at that and just see that there are a number of factors causing the overall rise of costs for power. We're really in the early stages of that, and to say that it's completely 100% because of the data centers, I'm not sure that is proven out yet. Thank you for that question. Yes, sir. Right behind you, sir.
Thank you. I don't have a question, but I have a shout out for you. When I got my vehicle tonight, I put in 294 Marion Oaks Lane. Neither my GPS on my vehicle or my GPS on my phone had it in there, and I couldn't get here. So I'm 15 minutes away, but after 30 minutes of driving, I still wasn't here. So I called your office, and I got a hold of Saline in your Somerville office. And she went on her computer, she pinpointed where I was, And she stayed on the phone until I pulled into this driveway. And I want to thank her for that.
Yes, thank you for that shout out. We really appreciate it. That is a testament to our core values. Yes, sir. Saline. Yes,
What is the requirement to get a light pole at your gate?
at our gate. So we're going to refer you, we're going to assign someone, yes. Would someone make sure you speak with her? And she'll give you specific instructions on how to do that, okay? Any other questions? Going once. Oh,
My question kind of piggybacks on her question. Are there any plans for like an additional bylaw for these AI server farms? The reason why I ask is there is data that it took 11 years for Spotify to get to 100 million users. It took 4.5 years for 100 million users for Facebook. It took 2 months for ChatGPT and OpenAI to have 100 million users. It was phenomenally explosive, and if we're to have this business model, there really is no organic way to measure the way this has grown in the past.
right.
It's very huge, so is there a possibility of a bylaw to maybe do an impact statement more regularly than maybe would be in the current bylaws?
I would say not as much as a bylaw, but it is a policy and an operating procedure that would cover that. So, as I mentioned with Seminole, they have established a policy around that impact fee, how that has to happen. And by the way, we have with Seminole, I've referenced that 2 or 3 times. We are owners of Seminole. President Anderson, Mr. Boyat, he's actually one of the officers of Seminole, and I'm on that board. So we have some governance authority for Seminole. So that's how the cooperative model works. So we're making sure that even at that level, we're looking out for you, the members, to make sure that there are policies in place that will protect us. Going once.
Yes, sir. My name is Devin. If I understand correctly, the current business model is based on natural gas. With the expansion that you mentioned, is there any exploration into other forms of energy, like other renewable energies or green energy might be?
Right. So, again, very good question with regards to what are the fuels that we use to produce power. And when I say we, I'm speaking collectively about Seminole Electric. They have a portfolio that's made up of some coal, some natural gas, and also some renewable. It makes up only about 3% of their portfolio. And there may be opportunities in the future if the cost of renewable energy is going to be competitive with the other sources, it'll be considered. But it's all about how readily available it can be and how much is it going to add to the cost of us providing power to you. So that makes up, those 3 components make up the majority of the resources that are used to provide power for you. Does that help? Thank you. Going once.
I just wanted to ask about you were saying about where you input the usage, well, you input stuff to get more about your usage. Is that through a website or through an app?
Yes. Yes, so we actually could help you with that tonight. If you have your smartphone, one of our team members could help you. You're talking about Smart Hub. Yes. We want to get you connected. If you have an account with SECO and you want to use that Smart Hub feature, that platform, I would encourage you to get with one of our team members and let them step you through the process of getting that loaded. It's an app. It goes on your phone, and you can start it pretty immediately. You might have to have some information about your account, but we could, if not tonight, we could help you with it over the phone. Okay? Any other questions? Going once? Start on two? Going twice? All right. Listen. Again, from the bottom of our hearts, and I speak on behalf of the board, I'm sure, we are so grateful for you coming out tonight and being a part of this. It really means a lot to see as many of you coming here to be a part of this. I want you to give a few more announcements, get you to mark your calendars for Thursday, March 28th. That is the date of our virtual annual meeting. That is the next level of engagement beyond the district meetings. It's another opportunity for you to engage as well as participate in more door prizes. March 26th. March 26th, let's make sure you make note of that correction. I apologize. So watch for your annual meeting notice in the mail, which will include your registration card, your voting information, and additional information about the meeting details. Again, before I sit, I just want to say thank you again. I'm going to turn the podium over to Attorney Gerken and give the hands of the meeting back to him. Thank you.
All I have to do is adjourn the meeting. So do I have a motion to adjourn? Yes. So moved. And a second. I think we'll have plenty of seconds. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? We are adjourned, but we have the announcement of the trivia winners. It's coming up if you're next. Thank you. We're adjourned.
I just want to share that 206 members registered here tonight. Yes, that's pretty awesome. So we also want you to tune into our podcast. If you have not done so, you can go on our website or our YouTube channel and look at our new podcast that we've cast. So I'm going to do the drawing, and Amanda's going to call out. Amanda's our Director of Corporate Communications and help put all of this together with us. So.
Thank you. Before you leave, I did have a member approach me. If you are a fellow member in Harvest Meadows and you happen to see a pet white rabbit, do you want to raise your hand? Did she leave? Is she still here? So if you see a little pet white rabbit, maybe put it on Facebook and bring it inside because she's missing her white rabbit. I know. Okay, I'm ready.
Drum roll.
First one, Gregory Porsche. Woo! Second one, Tina Brinson. Tina?
Nope. Okay, going once.
707.
Marin Oaks Trail.
Next. Here we go.
Tough crowd. Yes.
How about Estebania Murillo? Oh. Last one. We have James Franz.
All right.
All right.
Tell them about
I'm sorry. And don't forget, we will pick for the bill credits. We have 3 $250 bill credits and 20 $25 bill credits. And you will see the credit on your next billing statement. Thank you.